Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and we got some severe weather that's going to be going on for the next few days, so let's go ahead and dive right into this. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. There's a slight risk of severe weather for eastern Louisiana, southern and central Mississippi, and parts of southwestern Alabama right here, including the cities of Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mobile, Alabama, affecting an area of 6.2 million people, so that's basically what we have right here. Let's go ahead and look at the risks. The tornado risk is at 5% for concentrated basically in Mississippi, a little bit of Louisiana, a little bit in Alabama as well. The hail threat is the lowest threats at 5% through this area, and the wind threat's at 15% in this part and 5% everywhere else. So that's basically why they issued the slight risk, because of the 15% hail threat and the 5% tornado threat. Let's go ahead and look at the models real quickly just to time this out. This is the Cape right here for parts of Louisiana, and the latest Cape reading at around 7 a.m. was there was over 4,600 joules per kilogram in some of these areas of Cape, but that eventually is gone. And as time goes on, we could see, as these storms develop, we could see areas around 2,500 to 3,500 joules per kilogram of Cape right here. So that's the situation we have all the way into Alabama. So that's basically the severe weather we have. Let's go ahead and look at the dew points as well, because the dew points are actually pretty good for severe weather as well. We're looking at mid-70s dew points, which is something if you do not want severe weather, that's something you don't want to see right there. We're seeing a very moist atmosphere in this area. The temperature right here, the temperature's in the mid-70s to the lower 80s, so that humidity's in the 90s right there. So there is more than enough moisture for these storms to kick off and just potentially bring some pretty large hail and a couple of tornadoes essentially. So that's basically what we have for day one. The day two outlook is right here. Basically, we have two areas of slight risks. The first area is in Oregon and Idaho right here. Idaho right here, rural Oregon, rural Idaho. And the second one's in parts of Ohio and Kentucky. So that's basically what we have. The tornado threat, there's no tornado threat in parts of Idaho, in that area. But there's a 2% risk from Ohio all the way down to the Florida Panhandle. The wind threat's at 15% in both areas right here. That's why they issued the slight risk. And the hail threat's is actually greater in this part of near the west coast in Idaho and predominantly in Oregon as well than it is in Ohio. But we'll have to keep an eye out on that just to make sure of that. Let's go ahead and look at the Dupage models. We're actually going to move first to the mid-Atlantic right here with all this Cape we're seeing with the HER model. So basically we run that, and as we continue, this goes into the morning. This is by 1 p.m. We're seeing Cape around 600 joules per kilogram in parts of Ohio. As time goes on, we could see some scattered areas around, I'd say 1,000 to 1,500 potentially. It's not going to be that much to cause that much hail, but at the same time, or just really tornadoes. But at the same time, let's go ahead and look at the Cape. The Cape for tomorrow is pretty minuscule. Yeah, we see a couple of isolated areas around like 1,400 and 1,400,000, but mostly it's between 100 and 600 joules per kilogram in these parts. So that's basically the situation we have for day two. It's not that big of a severe weather day as we would see generally in the late May and early June. But that's basically it for day two. Day three, this is where it gets a bit interesting, because day three we're seeing a slight risk from the South Carolina-Georgia border all the way up to towards New Jersey, close to New York area. This slight risk area is affecting 31 million people. So everyone needs to take this very seriously. On the mid-Atlantic East Coast includes cities like Charleston, Raleigh, Richmond, Virginia Beach, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and Scranton. So that's basically what we have. If you're in eastern Pennsylvania, eastern Virginia, eastern central North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, all of Delaware, almost all of Maryland, and the western half of New Jersey, you need to take this more seriously. The probabilistics at 15. We don't have the severe risks yet, so that's basically, we can't have that. It'll come tomorrow, and I'll update you guys when that happens. So that's basically what we have. Let's go ahead and go to the Mid-Atlantic with this. And we're actually going to use the North American model for this one. We're actually going to go ahead and use the 6Z for this. So, yeah, this is interesting. Like, by 21Z, like, this is interesting. Like, we're seeing some in a pretty wide area of around 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE in this area right here. And that's basically what we're looking at. We're seeing some areas even greater than that. We're seeing close to 2,300 in parts of South Carolina. So that's the CAPE right there. It'll be enough to produce some large hail, maybe some damaging winds for sure. A couple of tornadoes, I'm not exactly sure. It'll depend on those shear profiles. We'll actually next look at the dew point temperatures as well. So that's dew point temperatures. So basically, we're seeing a pretty decent amount of moisture right here. We're seeing upper 60s to lower 70s in scattered areas right here. So most of the moisture, though, is in South Carolina. So, and as well as in parts of Maryland and Delaware right here. So that's an interesting thing to take a look at right there. Temperature forecast. This is basically, we're seeing lower 80s in these areas. These are mountain ranges right here. So you expect the temperatures to be a little lower with elevation, but yeah, we're seeing some humidity points in the 80s in some points. So that's basically the situation we have right here for day 3. So yeah, so far it looks like it's your generic severe thunderstorm so far. But let's go ahead and take a look at day 4 and day 5. Day 4, we're looking at a 15% risk in most of South Dakota, parts of North Dakota, parts of Nebraska right here, affecting a population of around 467,000. So it's basically going to be in the plains, includes cities like Valentine, Nebraska, Pierre, South Dakota, and Aberdeen, South Dakota as well. And 15% risk for day 5. Also, we're looking at this for basically most of Minnesota, all the way down to Nebraska, including the Minneapolis area, Duluth, Sioux Falls, and Norfolk. And it affects an area of 5.6 million people. So yeah, everyone needs to take it pretty seriously right here, and we don't have any more information from the SPC. Here's what we do have. We can use these models, and we'll actually use the models in Northern Great Plains for this. Let's go ahead and go to the CAPE right here, and yeah, we can use this for day 4, but actually no, we can't. For this, we're gonna have to use the GFS for this one. So yeah, that's basically what we have. We have the 6Z run on the GFS, and this is for 21Z on Saturday, which is day 4, and we're seeing an okay area of CAPE. We're seeing areas around 15 to 1,800 joules per kilogram. It's not the best profiles. Like I've seen CAPE in the plains cracking 5,000, so it's not the best right here. But the cap is actually pretty strong with this one. So yeah, it's something we'll have to keep an eye on, because the cap is quite strong, and if the CAPE's that low, around 1,500, it's probably not going to break the cap, and if it does, it'll break it in minimal areas. So that's basically what we're taking a look at. I will keep updating you guys, so we'll just have to wait and see. And then yeah, this is by 0Z. So this is where the severe weather's basically going to be at its greatest. Right here, the cap just completely evaporates. So I missed that when I saw that. But like, we're seeing a good area around 2,000 to 2,400 joules per kilogram. So let's take a look at this one right here, and yeah, we're seeing a good area of 2,400 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE in Iowa. Let's actually go ahead and move to the Midwest right here. In parts of Kansas, we're seeing CAPE of over 4,000 joules per kilogram, ladies and gentlemen. But the cap is pretty strong over here. The cap is very strong over here, and those wind shear profiles aren't really susceptible enough for severe weather. So we're gonna have to basically that's not gonna happen. Parts of Iowa is seeing 3,500 to 3,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. So yeah, anything can happen with this. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at the dew point temperatures for both days. Actually, the dew points in this part, well, actually go ahead and go back a day. But yeah, the dew points, they're not the best actually in parts of South Dakota and Minnesota. Actually, they could be better. They could be better for severe weather. We're seeing mid 60s, which is good enough, but it's not the best we have seen. So that's basically the situation we have with that. Temperatures, let's look at the temperatures. We're seeing upper 70s, so that humidity is going to basically be in the mid 70s, maybe lower 80s in some areas. So there's a good amount of moisture for severe weather to develop as well. So yeah, another thing we'll have to keep an eye out on. So let's go ahead and go up a day, and this is where the slight risk is in this part. We're seeing similar readings. We're seeing some upper 60s in some areas, but it's not that much has changed except for the fact this is a little more moist. The temperature, we'll have to look at the temperature. The temperatures do change in parts of Nebraska right here. I mean, the temperatures get warmer, but it's not going to be that much of a difference for parts of Minnesota where the severe weather is going to be happening. So I would say the temperature is pretty good with the dew point temperatures. We're going to be seeing humidity probably in the 80s percentile range. So that's basically the situation we have right here. This is the latest severe weather we're looking at. That being said, it's going to wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal with this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. That is what I hope to do with this video as well as this channel. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.